Hey friends, happy Tuesday morning. It is going to be a beautiful, beautiful day. Getting ready to head into the gym, but I wanted to share something that was on my heart this morning, something that I hope just inspires you to stand 10 toes on the gospel and to not compromise. So I was still in Psalm 119. I'm going to be here for a while. I told you that, but moving on to verses 121 through 128. I love this because the psalmist is talking about things that every believer will come against. Here we have the psalmist that's striving for excellence. He's striving with everything that he has to follow the decrees of God. His heart is set on following Jesus until the very end. But he goes on and he talks about, like the Bible tells us many times, Jesus told the disciples, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And he clearly told the disciples too that, they hated me first and they will hate you. If you are committed, wholeheartedly committed to standing true to me, Jesus said they will hate you. And this is just a fact of the world. But in 121, starting in verse 121, the psalmist says, I have done justice and mercy. Do not leave me to my oppressors. Here he clearly indicates that the children of God, we will have trouble. We will have those people that come up against us. And many times it's because we have different views. But he goes on to say, he says, be surety for your servant for good. Do not let the proud oppress me. He's saying, Lord, I'm going to need you to stand in the gap. This is, and I trust you, and over again, we are told that, that Jesus Christ is the one who stands in the gap, by his death, burial, and resurrection. He was our advocate. And while the psalmist knows that before man, he might be blameless, before God, he knows he's still a sinner and that he needs someone to stand in the gap. And he's saying, Lord, be this surety for me, for your servant, for my good. And I love this because verse 123, I really, I thought about this morning. So many of us, we will give up in our search for God, or we will question the Lord or ask the Lord to come to our aid, and then we will give up in our search of the scriptures because we might expect it to happen in our time rather than God's time. But for reasons that we aren't privy to, many times the Lord tarries, or many times the Lord waits, and perhaps it's just to teach us patience or to grow our faith. But this is what the psalmist said. He said, my eyes fail from seeking your salvation and your righteous word. He's like, I'm going to keep reading these over and over and over again until I understand them, until I get wisdom from them, until my heart is at rest, because I remember that I remember your salvation. And I love this because, so many times, like I said before, we embark on this, on seeking God, but we give up. And the Bible clearly tells us that those who seek me with their whole heart, is what God says, their whole heart will find me. And sometimes it's an exhaustive search. But I love it because the psalmist goes down, and once again, he asks God for understanding, that he may know his testimonies. And, he comes to the conclusion that he loves the testimonies more than gold. Yes, more than fine gold. And he ends it. And I love this by saying that, therefore, after I've considered all of this, all your precepts concerning all things I consider to be right. I hate every false way. He was reminding himself, no matter what this world says, no matter how much they oppress me, I will continue to follow your precepts. I know that they are right. I know they are right on all things. And therefore, I will follow your precepts on all things. And I will hate every false way. Like I said yesterday, we can't serve two masters. We either love the one or hate the other. We either serve God or we serve the world. There's no compromise. There's no middle ground when it comes to serving Christ. And just like the psalmist said, if our hearts are set on serving him and following his decrees until the very end, which means that we have to be willing to put in the work. And we also have to remember that God's ways are right always, all the time, and that we need to follow them always and all the time. So guys, I really, really hope that blesses you. I'm going to get in a workout and get off to the best job ever. It's going to be a great day.